Go turn the car in. Just sold my car to CarMax, turned it in. Officially living on the streets, no vehicle. I officially live on the streets as of right now. Damn, baby, I don't want to say goodbye, and it's nobody's fault but my own. It's my own inabilities to not be able to have enough money to register you, keep car insurance on you. It does need an oil change as of right now, but I mean, I worked so hard. This is such a milestone for me to get this beautiful vehicle. There's been so many times where people just, growing up in the hood and growing up poor, people just looked at me like I was nothing. And sometimes I beat them to the punch, and sometimes I didn't. I had to learn a lot of life lessons, and I felt blessed. I felt like I was accomplished when I bought her. Material things come and go, but I love her very much. My very first car that I ever bought, brand new. Let's get into this video. Saying goodbye to my vehicle. I'm going to be talking about a lot of stories with it. I'm going to be showing and documenting the process. So I'm going to jump straight into it. I guess first and foremost, if you don't know, I am homeless. I literally live in my car. I've been documenting my journey on YouTube for close to a year. I've actually been homeless a lot longer than that. I was homeless and living in my car before I even started YouTube. So I've been homeless. This is the longest I've ever been homeless and living in my vehicle. Like I said, this is the first time you're watching one of my videos. You may want to check out some of my other content, especially my older stuff where I actually explain how I became homeless. But I have over 300 videos all documenting my journey. I ask that you subscribe. If anybody wants to bless me or show me love, my Cash App is AlienAscend, same as my YouTube name. I'll put that link in the description, as well as in the description I'll put an email if anybody wants to reach out to me and talk to me and chop it up. And that's Alienarmycontact@gmail.com. So I would like to, as me documenting everything, and this is going to be the last video I ever do inside my vehicle, or this will at least be the last day of me recording my vehicle until I go and take it, to go get sold at CarMax. I'm going to be showing and documenting all that stuff, but I do want to talk a lot about the vehicle and how I got it and what's going on with it. So, whether you're new to this channel or not, I'll just do a quick synopsis. Because of man's laws and stuff like that, I owe property tax on a vehicle. So I'm not from this state. However, living here, it's like, whether you own a house or a car or a boat or, whatever, there's certain assets that would fall into property tax, and for you to register them, you'll have to pay property tax. And it all depends on what they consider the value of that asset being. So I have to sell my car, and because my registration is expired, I can have my vehicle taken from me. Me being homeless, living in my car, if my car was to get towed, I didn't have the means and I did not have the money to get my vehicle out of tow. So then I don't have anything. Also, I don't have, since my car has expired registration, about a week before I got the expired registration, I had to show proof that everything was on the up and up with my vehicle for Uber Eats and DoorDash. I have been doing that for quite some time. I was doing that before I was even homeless. When I was truck driving, like I've explained on my other videos, on slow days of truck driving, I would go ahead and turn the app on and try to make some money. On weekends, I would do that for extra money, just to make ends meet, you know what I'm saying? So being homeless and me living in my vehicle, I still utilize those platforms to make some money, you know what I mean? And it's not as lucrative as you might think. It all depends on the market, and I have days in the life where I show that I've made very little, and I've had some days in the life where I showed I've done quite well. It was always hit and miss. So because of that, the responsible thing for me to do is to, instead of, I don't see light at the end of the tunnel for me to come up with the money of close to $2,000 for property taxes. Also, I would have to do a safety test, and I have to pass safety. Everything in my vehicle would pass safety except for my windshield. My windshield is cracked due to a big ass hailstorm, and these things were bigger than golf balls. And it happened when I was living in my apartment. I got some dents on my roof from it, and it cracked and busted my windshield. It was a regular crack on my windshield, and the windshield got worse when I was driving on the freeway, and some asshole took a soda and threw it out of their vehicle and hit my windshield, and then they just swerved off the very next exit that was right coming up, and they barely made that exit. And I wasn't going to risk it. And what am I going to do? Chase you down? At first, I thought it might have been a bird, but like it made a loud sound. But I want to talk about quite a bit of stuff with my vehicle. So I originally got this car in 2018. This is the first brand new car I've ever bought. I bought it all on my own. I had no help whatsoever. I couldn't even get help to get a ride to the dealership. I had got myself a Second job, well, I'll tell you all about it. I was working medical field for over 14 years. It's the longest consecutive job that I've ever had, and I've never got fired, never got laid off. I worked there over 14 years, just a little bit over 14 years. At different times, I would pick up side hustles and side jobs, temp jobs, and stuff like that. I got myself a part-time job, but it was full-time work that paid part-time stuff, and it was doing basically, just to sum it up real quick without boring you guys, internet marketing stuff. That includes website building, email campaigns, PPC, pay-per-click, running all sorts of campaigns, and I did live events, and the guy would actually throw seminars, and we used to go, I'd get flown out, and it was all I didn't get paid very much. It was all in the promise that I would get paid, and it would be lucrative in the long run. Like, you know, what I'm not getting right now, I'm getting a lot of experience, and then I'm meeting a lot of people, and I was hoping to build for something bigger than what I had. And you know, that's how I told myself, like, it's not much money now, but it could be a lot more later on, you know what I mean? But I wanted that little bit of money because I was living paycheck to paycheck with my current job. And for me to buy something extra, or for me to get a brand new vehicle, I needed more money. Excuse me. So I did it knowing whatever I made from that job, to the best of my abilities, I was going to save. And I was also going to apply, you know, I was living on my own, and like I said, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and everything else. Whatever I made, to my best of my abilities, I was going to put away, and then also I was going to start taking my credit more serious. I didn't have to. I only had one bad hardship on my I think it's called a hardship. I had one complaint on there, and it was some stuff that I didn't even do. It was, you know, this internet company said I didn't return the router when I freaking know I did, because it would be useless to not to do it. You know what I mean? But other than that, but I built my credit score almost to 700. So I'm gonna tell you the whole story. Almost built it up to 700 credit score, according to Credit Karma. I understand that dealerships use something else. It was a little bit under 700 when they did their credit search. I went ahead and you know, I had got myself lines of credit, and I would only use it for gas. Excuse me. And you know, as soon as I paid it for gas, like, you know, 20 bucks, 30 bucks in my tank, a week later, I'd pay it before I ever had to pay interest. You know what I mean? So that showed that, you know, that I had payment history. That showed that I was low on utilization on my credit cards, you know, and stuff like that. So that's how I started off, you know, trying to build it in. Within 6 months, you know, like I said, it was almost credit score 700, which is really, really good. You know, like a lot better than what I have now. You know, it's not like the best, but, you know, it was decent enough at the time. I wasn't sure if, you know, I knew that I was going to go for a Honda Civic. I knew that I wasn't sure if I wanted the white one or the blue one. I went ahead and I called my friend Angel, and I asked her, I said, hey, I'm thinking of going to the, you know, I had been telling her the whole time I'm saving for a car, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't make a huge big deal of it. You know, I told her, you know, like, hey, I'm working on my credit, and we're just friends, and, you know, just, you know, chopping it up. And I asked her one day, I said, hey, if I went ahead and I decided to try to get a vehicle from the dealership, if they say I need a co-signer, at the time, you know, the only person that might have done it would have been her, like, you know, people that I'm close to, and my friends and or family. And I asked her, and she said, I remember it. This doesn't paint her in the best light, but it's the truth. She said, yeah, I don't mind being a co-signer, but if you ever miss one payment, I'm going to take that car from you, and it's mine. She's like, it could be your last payment. There's a difference between business and you know, like business and personal. I took it where, you know, I understand it did hurt me a little bit personal to be told, like, wait a minute, I don't want you to be my co-signer. If I miss my payment by one time and they come holler at you, you're going to take my car, like, you know what I mean? And she would be in her legal rights to do that because she's a co-signer. So she could, if she takes on the responsible debt of that, she's going to take the car. And I can appreciate her honesty and her bluntness, telling me that up front. That's a lot better than saying, yeah, I'll sign for it and do that snaky stuff later. Like, at least you told me to my face. Also, back then, we probably weren't as close as friends as we are now, but I told her about that, and she's like, I never said that, but she did, because I remember. So when that got told to me, I was like, okay, no co-signer whatsoever. If for some reason I'm not able to stick with it, I'll try to, you know, I'll do my best. You know what I mean? You know, if they won't let me get a car without a co-signer, then that just means I need to work harder on my on my credit or get a bigger down payment. I'm hoping that that noise isn't bothering you so much. There's a street sweeper parking lot person, like they're using a little van and it's cleaning up the parking lot. I'm right down the street from CarMax as well, just to let you know. So I'll be taking you guys over there and showing you you know, the process the best that I can without exposing, you know, my location and stuff like that. You know, I might not sound as chipper as I once am. It's because the sentimental value and the love I have for my vehicle, and this is me saying goodbye to my car, and you guys are watching the journey, and I hope that you guys watch the whole video, because there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that goes on. So rock with me on this. So the day that I buy my vehicle, before I even go over there, I ask a family member, could they take me over there? I wanted to see whether I wanted the white one or the blue one, and I wanted to test drive it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to buy the car right then and there, or apply for it. But just in case, I had $4,500 of cash on me. So I had saved just under $6,000 within 6 months, and I had started working on my credit for 6 months. And like I said, it was just under 700 according to their records. I think Credit Karma said I was at a 700. I got an argument with that family member, and they didn't want to take me. And it was all on them. It was all one-sided. I wanted to be on the safe side. One, I didn't want to drive my vehicle there, and if I decided to buy that car, how am I get my other car back home? And then also, like I said, I had $4,500 worth of cash on me, and I did that on purpose. I kept $1,500. If I remember correctly, it was a total of $6,000. I wanted to keep $1,500 as a rainy day fund, and maybe for the first, like if I ever almost came short on a payment, because I didn't know what my payments were going to be. I needed everything to line up just right. I took an Uber to the dealership, and when I was taking the Uber to the dealership, because I don't trust people, you know, I'm not gonna let somebody know that I have that amount of money on me or whatever. And when I was in the car, I was like, yeah, they were fixing I was having an oil change and I didn't want to hang around, or they were fixing my vehicle there. I said something like, yeah, my car's in the service department, just drop me off there, making it look like, that, I'm just there to pick up my vehicle. I'm not somebody, that might have money on me to make a purchase on a vehicle or something like that. I talked to a salesman, and I like the white one better than the blue one. I wanted to see what it looked like in person, not just on photos. I do a test drive. She drives immaculate. She's, I've always loved Hondas. There's other vehicle types I love as well, but I've always loved Hondas. My very first car was actually a Honda Accord, and it was an old beater, but I love that Honda Accord a lot. I've had different cars throughout my life. Most of them were all beaters, and some of them were reliable, but reliable in the city or not too far away. I would never trust it, going over state lines or driving from one side of the country to the next. You know what I'm saying? This vehicle, for the most part, yes, I have done that. You know what I mean? This vehicle's got 80,000 miles on it. And like I said, this is the first brand new vehicle that I bought and everything else. So when I get out of the car, he's like, hey, the sales guy, he's like, do you want to go in here and run some numbers, talk about a down payment, what's your credit score looking like? We can do all that. And I said, well, I want you to picture that I'm a family member of yours that you love very much. And if you don't love any of your family members, picture somebody that you do love a whole lot and you have a lot of respect for. Picture I'm that person, and instead of you trying to get the best deal for the car dealership, I want you to be on my side and try to get me the best deal. And I said, if you can agree to do that, I'll go in here and we can run numbers. And like he was taken back a little bit, but he appreciated me being honest, and he was like, yeah, I could do that. He's like, you aren't my mom, but I'll try to do the best that I can. And he was telling me, how much he loved his mom and stuff. He's like, I love my family. He's like, I'll do the best, and I'll do the best, but you aren't my mom. So he was honest on that point, where I'm not going to get the best deal in the world, but I'll get something a lot better than what other people have. And then also at that point, he's going to come to me with a lower number, and I'm going to negotiate it down. So I didn't pay MSRP for my vehicle at all. We go in there and we run numbers. and I was able to knock off more money. We were able to negotiate. It wasn't an all-day thing. In fact, you know, some people I've heard, you know, they've been at the dealership all day trying to crunch stuff. Me, I think I might have been there, you know, an hour taking a look at the car, chopping it up with that sales guy, maybe an hour inside that office, and maybe you know, 20-30 minutes afterwards, because they, you know, they like washed my car, and even though it was brand new, they rewashed it, and they had somebody, you know, run it over with a detail and detail the inside of it, and then boom, I got my vehicle. I had a lot of plans with this vehicle. I might not have mentioned in other videos that upon me, you know, getting this vehicle, with the marketing job that I had, I worked and helped a lot of real estate agents. That was one of the parts of it. I used to get side jobs from that too, and make websites for real estate agents, or I would tell them how to, you know, do some marketing and help them get clients. And I was always successful. I know that there's a bunch of gurus out there saying, you know, do this for marketing and do that. The bottom line of it, and this is the whole thing: the more people that know that you offer a service, or whether you offer a service or selling a product, the more people that know about that, the better chance you have. So it's a numbers game. It just all depends on, you know, like how to utilize, if you're paying for that advertisement or not. You know, a lot of people are like, you know, brand, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are cheating people. Like, yeah, I might not have got you any clients with that $2,000 that we spent on ads, but think about brand recognition. You only want brand recognition if you're, you know, in the long haul of like Pepsi or something like that, where, you know, for 100 years you've been selling this product, and that you become a household name and everybody knows it. If you're just somebody who's looking to go ahead and find people's properties that might be interested in buying or selling, no, you know, you don't need a big ass name. You know what I mean? You just need to be able to, you know, get in front of them, and then you get yourself that 30-second elevator pitch to you know, to get to know them, and see if you guys the synergies match, and if you guys want to make a deal or not. You know what I mean? That's basically the gist of it. The more people that know that I'm homeless and I'm not doing well, the more chance that I have for somebody being nice and throwing me a donation, or subscribing or becoming a member on my channel. That's just it. The more exposure of it, you know, if only 10 people know that you sell ice cream, you know, you might only sell 2 of those ice creams to the 10 people. What if it was 10,000 people knew that you had ice cream? Well, at that point, maybe you're selling, you know, 300 or 400 ice creams. That's simple on it. You know, I mean, that just gives you an idea. I'm sure you guys get it. So with doing that, I wanted to find ways to help real estate agents a whole lot more. And this is something that I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned or not. I actually enrolled to become a real estate agent, and I signed online, and I started doing that. And one of the curriculums that I was doing was real estate law, and that real estate law was for that particular state. I never got my real estate license. I never became a real estate agent. I got very close, and other stuff happened. I don't want to get into it, but I spent a lot of money and spent a lot of time, and I was learning all this stuff. And at the very least, I could actually relate to and help the real estate people, you know, a whole lot of marketing stuff. Like, for example, you know, square footage, and you know, how many square feet are in a mile, or in an acre. Not a mile, excuse me, an acre. How many square feet is an acre? That right there is a question you should ask a real estate agent. So I used to call real estate agents, and when I was talking to them, I'm like, hey, do you know how much square feet is in an acre? Like, no. I go, well, that, you know, when you would think you would need to know that, right? So if somebody was having a hard time deciding, should I use this real estate agent or this real estate agent, if you knew that information, you could show them that you know more about that business than them by asking the other real estate agent, like, hey, how many square feet are in this, you know, in an acre? What's the zoning law on this? Some of these simple stuff that, you know, that if you paid attention to what got you your real estate license, you can show that you are more educated than the next person, and then you would have a higher probability of them choosing to either you know, list their house to being sold, or you know, them signing a buyer's agreement with a real estate agent. You know what I mean? So I took that. You know, I was really trying to advance that. It didn't work out. I got videos talking about you know, what actually happened with that marketing job and everything else, but I was really you know, I've always really applied myself, and so when I bought this car, I was thinking that if I had my license, this would be a vehicle that I'd feel comfortable picking up potential clients, dropping people off in, you know, feeling good about myself. You know, the car that I had before, no, it wouldn't have left me stranded, but it did have some problems. The left and right turning signal wasn't turning on, and it wasn't a fuse. It was actually the steering wheel column. Something got messed up with it. You know, my vehicle was older. It never left me stranded. It wasn't freeway worthy. I didn't feel comfortable driving on the freeway. In fact, back then I was actually scared to drive on the freeway. Not anymore though, but you know, I wanted a vehicle I could go ahead and do that stuff with. And then also I was doing traveling and marketing stuff. You know, I wanted a vehicle that if when he did a seminar and you know, stuff like that, and I used to teach it, and I would go up there and be a speaker on those stuff, even though I'm a very shy person. So if you're new here, you know, it's been a while since I talked about this. I am a very shy person. It's one of the reasons why I do talk fast. It's one of the reasons why I clear my throat quite a bit. I'm shy, I'm nervous. I've been like that since I was a kid. I can hide it kind of well, at least that's what I'm told, but inside I'm a very shy person. You know, I'm very shy just walking up to somebody and having a regular conversation. However, I understand that's something that I have to do. It's something I overcome every single day. You know, it's just a part of me. So I wanted my vehicle for a lot of stuff. It wasn't like, you know, I just wanted to, you know, get a brand new car and dip around my city and look like a big shot. No, I wanted to utilize it to as a tool to make me money. And you know, I thought at the very least with the traveling I'm doing, I might be able to incorporate my vehicle with that. And then also if I actually got the real estate license, showing potential buyers or sellers, or having a nice vehicle and putting some decals on the side of it could give me more exposure as a real estate agent if I wanted to go that path. I wanted to open up doors and open up opportunities. And that's you know, you can't always be wanting stuff if you aren't you know, proactively making opportunities. So when somebody says, you know, if I get a mean comment, you're a lazy bum, I apply myself constantly. I show the most that I can on camera. There's sometimes where I mess up where I wanted to show more. There's also been times where I wish that I didn't show too much, and that's the God honest truth. But there's, you know, I do apply myself. I live in my shoes. You don't. You know, if you think I'm lazy, you think I'm a bum, you think I just want a handout, you know, there's only a 0.5% of people that think that. The 99% of the people that rock with me and watch my videos understand everything, and those are the people that I cater to. I'm not catering to haters or ignorant people who have uneducated opinions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I love my vehicle very much. The very first time, this is me saying goodbye to my car, the very first time I slept in my vehicle was after I turned. So I'm going to tell you some stories about my car, and then we're going to go ahead and, you know, it might be a little bit longer video, but I ask that you rock with me. You guys are going to see me go stay on the streets and everything else, so stay with me here. Also, if anybody wants to show love or bless me, my Cash App is the same as my YouTube name, AlienAscend. I'll put that in the description. If anybody wants to send an email, chop it up with me, give me some advice, talk to me about something personal, whatever, that email will be in my description as well, and that's AlienArmyContact@gmail.com. Real quick before I forget, Alien Army checking in. Anybody who doesn't know what Alien Army is, those are people that rock with me heavy and rock with me tough by always hitting the like button, dropping a comment, and watching the video all the way to the very end. That's very important. That really does help out my small channel so much. All right, so the very first time I ever slept in my vehicle was when I had to return my when I was driving trucks, and I had to return my truck to Salt Lake City because when I was running teams, that guy got off, and I didn't. The dispatcher wanted me to go ahead and get either a new student for me to train or run teams with somebody, and because I said no, and because I was a company driver, he said, no, I want you out of that truck. I want you to turn that truck in. That truck is too new and too nice. We want to utilize it for teams or for somebody doing training. We want, you know, you've been out on OTR, which is over the road. You've been over the road for over a year. You know, we want, and well, you've been over the road over a year, and you have not taken home time at all. So go take home time and see if you can pick up a vehicle there in Salt Lake City, or come to the Midwest and we'll have one there. And so when I was driving, driving towards the Midwest, thinking, you know, I was still going to work for that company. And the biggest thing is I hadn't seen my friend Angel. I hadn't seen a lot of my friends, and they were all in the same area of the Midwest. I really wanted a hug. If anybody knows me, I don't like being touched. I don't like having people stand close to me. It takes a while for me to drop my guard and stuff like that. And when I told Angel, I was like, I just need a hug from you, and I need to see, you know, I need to see your family. I need to be around people. You know, I'm feeling really weird. You know, I didn't have to tell her I wasn't doing good. When I told her I needed a hug and I needed to see people that I trust and that I love, you know, her husband, and her kids. Me just saying that, she was like, yeah, come over, Alien. You know, she knew that something wasn't right. So at that point, I had been used to sleeping in semis, and I learned to be a cheap trucker because everything is so damn expensive when you're trucking. You know, how to cut angles where, you know, I tried my best to not eat at truck stops because they're too stupid expensive and the portions are small. You know, same thing about the restaurants that are actually connected to truck stops, or the, you know, the food trucks that might be outside of a rest area, you know, or outside of a shipper or a receiver. You know, everybody is trying to charge us so much because they think we make so much, and they know that we're in desperate need. They know that we can't take that vehicle and go drive through the drive-through of Wendy's. They know that that vehicle will have a hard time going to you know, grocery stores and stuff like that. You know, they use it against us. They know that we might be in remote areas where, you know what, it's more convenient for us to pay $30 for a burrito instead of $30 of groceries, and try to cook you know, microwavable stuff in our truck, or use our air fryer in there. You know what I mean? So when I was driving to the Midwest, I had stopped to sleep, and I didn't want to spend money on a hotel. I did not like that the hotel said, you know, $100 or $150, whatever it was. I was like, I'd rather just sleep in my car, and I slept right in my driver's seat. And that was the first time I ever slept in my car, this particular car. I've been homeless where I slept in a Honda Accord, the very first car I had. I've been homeless where I didn't have a car. This is the longest part I've ever been homeless. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in this video. This is the longest stretch I've ever been homeless, you know, living in my car, and now I'm going to be living on the streets until I get things situated, and I'm going to be documenting and showing all that stuff. Well, I'm down the street from CarMax. Let's go turn my car in, man. I got the sun right in my eyes. It's the best little spot I could find. Let's go turn the car in. Just sold my car to CarMax, turned it in, took an Uber. Same parking lot as where I had to go to the bank and do that is an actual grocery store. So that's where I'm behind. A little bit quiet here. I'm squinting my eyes a little bit because it's really bright and sunny out. But yeah, I feel a little bit numb, feel a little bit disappointment. Still have a little bit more I think I want to show in this video, where I'm gonna be setting up my little, you know, my little camp area, or my little street home, since I'm living on the streets now, but officially living on the streets, no vehicle. You might be saying, you know, where's your backpack at, Alien, and stuff like that. I knew beforehand, going inside of a bank with a backpack and my luggage type stuff, my street gear, wouldn't be such a good idea. So I actually stashed it. I'll be showing you guys that probably the next scene or two, but just wanted to fill everybody in. The car is officially sold. I officially do not have a vehicle. I officially live on the streets as of right now. Yeah, I'm definitely too fat and too big to fit on the side of that. Let's take a look here. Man, the rain has really done a number on the elements outside. Let's take a look over here. It's got plenty of room. There's some more room in the back. Yeah, just muddy and messy. Yeah, might have to be staying here. There's a couple other areas I might want to check out, but there's some room here, and definitely some. Next video will show the full setup.